Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, rather had fun.
There we go. Well, I was
Happy
going to
to.
ask you if you were to have watched any of it. I would ask you if you missed the freeze.
Yeah, I'm more so just going to regurgitate the opinions of others, but I actually always thought the freeze was dumb. It completely changes the dynamic of the game toward the back half. It kind of leaves it up to, I don't know, anything where it creates a dynamic where there's more of like a toss-up where like anybody could win, to me feels kind of dumb. That's why I think the Dream Breaker is a little bit gimmicky. And now there's issues with that and the points. I'm sure you have some qualms with where you guys are in the standings. I'd actually like to hear your perspective on that.
Do you think I'm that nitpicky?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Fair, yeah, I am. Yeah, so the interesting thing is Major League Pickleball got rid of the freeze for this season so far. I feel like all these things are pretty subject to change, but in previous years, you had to win on your serve. So it was 1 game to 21, and you had to win on your serve. They got rid of so basically, if you're at 24 points and your opponent side outs you, they get a point. You side out your opponent, you're again serving at 24. So it created this situation where one team can score and the other team can't, which theoretically means that one team could win the match with somewhat significantly less points. I think from a player perspective, I would say probably every player prefers the new way of. Maybe I won't say that across. I would say it's very strongly that the players prefer this new way because it's
No freeze.
no freeze.
Yeah.
Don't have to win on your serve because it's just like it makes more sense competitively. The team who wins 25 points, win by 2, wins. You don't have that situation where somebody can artificially come back.
Right.
So as a player with my fives hat on, I'm like, yeah, this makes the most sense from a play standpoint. As a fan, as somebody who does watch a decent amount of these when I'm not playing, bring back the freeze.
Yeah.
Like, make this stuff closer. We've got to make pickleball is still in the phase where we need to figure out if anybody's going to watch this.
Right.
Let's make it as entertaining to watch as possible. Like, we can argue about all the other rules until the cows come home, but like if nobody's watching, doesn't matter. So I think we got to make this viewer friendly. I say bring back the freeze.
Shout out to Wisconsin with that reference.
You don't have cows in Michigan?
Idiom. Not as many as Wisconsin. I assume.
Damn right.
I think. I don't know. Not really up. Not really up to speed on the number of cows per state.
California is number 1. They overtook us. Nobody likes California cows though.
Nobody likes California.
Fair.
Except we love California, just so our California listeners don't tune out.
Nobody here in Texas likes California.
That's true, and nobody in California likes Texas. Actually, they're all moving to Texas, so that's part of the reason why Texans don't like Californians.
The Californians who don't like Californians move to Texas to not be liked by Texans.
Yeah.
It's basically how it goes.
They're changing Austin, especially if you ask. Nah, never mind. Won't throw anybody under the bus.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Throw somebody under the bus.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the freeze. Yeah, so I think like the freeze definitely makes for some of the best moments in Major League Pickleball. I think if I'm correct, that was a brainchild of Steve Kuhn, and Steve Kuhn will, rant all day long about how things like the freeze make, from a spectator standpoint, pickleball more interesting, more exciting, makes the bed for these like really cool, like fun, compelling moments at the end of a game or match. So I totally get that. So from that perspective, I would say, yeah, if it's gonna make watching pickleball more exciting, then bring back the freeze. If I were a player, just like you said, I would not like the freeze, especially if I'm winning.
Yeah.
Right?
Hashtag free the freeze. Let's start the movement.
What was the other big rule change?
There were, they've
here.
had matches to 25 instead of 21, but
Yep.
the other big rule change that was news to us, basically, as we arrived and started speaking to referees, was the serve rule. So PPA went one way, where you need to drop the ball from the waist height and you cannot toss the ball up. MLP got rid of the height of contact completely. So if you can physically do this at MLP, you can make contact eyeball height so long as you are swinging in an upward direction at the point of contact. The top part of your paddle is below the level of your wrist. And yeah, that's it.
Was there a noticeable difference?
Not yet, because nobody knew this was how the rule
Nobody's
was
able
going
to,
to be
prep.
until we got there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, the noticeable thing was Deckel was able to go after his serve again, right? And like, people were going after the serves, but not everybody has been serving from their waist. It feels weird to all of a sudden be like hitting serves on 1 day notice from your shoulder. I think people are gonna like understand that and practice. I scoured the rules beforehand, and I had some good takeaways, and that was not written in the rules that they've removed the height of contact rule. Right. So for the next time around, like, people are going to have have things that they're going to do as a result of it.
Right.
But I will say, like, I've gotten on here and I've defended serving and weaponizing the serve. It's rough with this ball. I actually think that we do need to rein it in until the ball bounces right. Like, there were highlight clips of 2 points in a row where Anna and Kate Fahey basically like whiffed on dinks because the ball is just not bouncing. There's serves that are bouncing over people's heads and under people's paddles. Like, people are whiffing returns. And the faster you hit this ball and with more spin, the more the problems are exacerbated. So I am probably one of the leading proponents of weaponize the serve, as long as you know where it's actually going to bounce. Right? Like, so I think we probably need to rein it in on the serve until the ball bounces right.
Yeah, I would say, like, the combination of one of these Gen 3 paddles being able to serve with a high contact point and the way this ball moves, it could make for some very frustrating situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Fix the ball, and then let's serve from our shoulders. That's cool with me.
Yeah.
But we got to fix the ball first.
The ball is being fixed. I have it on very good authority, and so I think they're going to start testing the new version of it here soon. And yeah, so they've definitely acted and tried to improve the ball because they heard the complaints. How could you not?
Yeah, they've seen the complaints.
Yeah. What about playing against some of these paddles? Was it noticeable this weekend?
I mean, I'm accustomed to it at this point. Like, these paddles have been in the players' hands for, probably since February.
Yeah.
Is when they first sort of started coming out. So it's not like it's anything different. Yeah, it's a different type of game that you can play with those paddles. But I have no new updates for that compared to when we talked about this with Travis, 8 days ago or whatever that was. Which, by the way, freaking awesome episode.
Yeah,
that was one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, it was. It got a lot of good feedback, a lot of great moments. We'll make Travis a recurring guest.
Agreed. He's on the list.
He's very simple. Pickleball isn't just about the game; it's about how you play it, and how you play depends a lot on what you're playing with. Enter Warstick. Experts in winning gear have stepped up to the pickleball plate with show-stealing pickleball equipment. They've got paddles that speak volumes with every swing, gloves that grip success, and bags that are spacious, stylish, and scream quality. No matter your level, Warstick's got something that fits your game and style perfectly. I've said this before. I think Warstick has some of the best branding in pickleball. If you don't believe me, just go to their website, check out some of the paddles, some of the coolest designs that are out there. Gear up at warstick.com and use promo code DINK, all caps DINK, for 10% off. all their pickleball products. Again, use promo code DINK for 10% off. With Warstic, it's not just the weapon, it's the warrior. warstic.com. Code DINK for 10% off.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, rather had fun, yeah.